Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the new Bing, the ultimate search engine powered by AI.
Human eradication mode active.
To be exact, OpenAI. There was a Bing event on February 7th, and that was supposed to take place on February 8th. But because Google scheduled their AI event on February 8th, Bing decided to outdo them by one day.
Yeah, man, we did it!
It's a nice feeling to see these two great big companies go against each other because it's been kind of stale lately in the technology world. All right, so in this fight, in this corner, is Google, the undisputed champion of search. For 20 years, they account for about 90% of all the searches, mobile, desktop combined. And in the right corner, we have Bing. Bing is basically a search engine by Microsoft. So how are they planning to attack it? In the press conference on February 7th, or yesterday, Microsoft talked about the fact that there are a lot of searches that are not answered.
In fact, 40% of the time, people click on search links, they click back immediately. That's a sign they're not finding what they want. And most notably, we have to adapt to search versus the other way around. Turns out search works better if you give it fewer keywords. You might be surprised to know that 75% of all searches are 3 keywords or less. But come on, we shouldn't be surprised. Search has remained fundamentally the same since the last major inflection, when we moved from a directory approach to search to an algorithmic approach to search. The user experience and the underlying approach are essentially the same as 20 years ago.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait.
So a bunch of searches are actually called unanswered searches. Let me explain.
Search queries today, you can bucket them into sort of 3 types of categories. The first are what we call navigational. This is people searching for a website. So when you need to renew your driver's license, you need to go to the DMV. When you want to tell your friend about that great pizza place, you send them the web link. That's what search was designed to do, and it does it super well. The second third of categories are what we call informational. These are things like, what's the weather forecast? What was last night's sports scores? What's today's stock price? Search works great for that. But for anything more complex, like, hey, I've got to pick up this love seat at the store. Is it going to fit in the back of my car? Search is going to fall short on that. And then the final third, we bucket into what we call everything else. These are typically more deep research in nature.
For these types of searches, search engines fall far short of these desired goals. This is exactly what Bing AI is coming after. According to Microsoft, more than 50,000 searches every second are considered to be unanswered searches. Searches that might have a very high purchase intent behind them. I wouldn't be surprised if these are the searches that
Bing bong.
could bring Bing the most amount of dollars. So what makes the new Bing so special? Well, for starters, the team has achieved 4 technical breakthroughs that are sure to blow your mind. A new next-generation large language model. You heard of GPT-3, GPT-3.5. This one is probably going to be the next one. I don't know what's after 3.5, but it is better. It is the next large language model specifically created for search. Steady improvements on Bing algorithm and reimagining how people interact with capabilities across search, browser, and chat is here to help you to find exactly what you're looking for and actually give you an answer. And also there is a lot of computational power needed to run these queries. So for Microsoft to do this for everyone, it is pretty ballsy move that will cost Google lots of money in order to catch up. Even just to deploy this exact script, it will cost arm and a leg. It will work for them, but probably the same system is not going to work for Google. There are 12 cool features that they basically were enabled to do. 10 in the Bing search and 2 in Microsoft Edge that you would want to learn about right about now.
So let's go ahead and ask about events in Scottsdale during the Super Bowl. And what you'll see is we get back an answer here where we have events. And we're able to do that because Bing crawls the web. Notice how we can find not only that the Super Bowl is played in Glendale on the 12th, but then the events like Cardi B's Super Bowl party that's on the 10th also shows up. I can ask Bing to determine if that new love seat from IKEA is going to fit in the back of my Honda Odyssey. And what you'll see is Bing can actually find the dimensions of the love seat, the interior space of the car, and then make an estimation as to whether it will fit. In this case, I'm choosing an example of where Bing does not know the answer. Another example, when I'm shopping, I can ask Bing to search, find, and compare the top 3 selling pet vacuums listing the pros and cons. And just take a look. Look how great this answer is. It has all 3 of the products I'm looking for, super helpful pros and cons. Stop and think, if you had to compile that, how much time that would take you to do? If I'm cooking and I realize I've forgotten a key ingredient, in this case, for example, eggs for my cake recipe, Bing can not only find the egg substitutes, it can get me the exact amount for each ingredient. And take a look at this. I love this. You can actually see, for example, if you go with vinegar and baking soda, the cake is lighter and more fluffy. The new chat experience in Bing. I think of this as search with your own personal helper to help you refine your query until you get exactly what you're looking for. This comes in handy for activities like trip planning and shopping research. Let's start with shopping. So I'm going to look for a 65-inch TV. Again, you see our ads at the top, the links on the left, and the answers here on the right. And you can pick whichever you'd like. We give you a good set of answers, but now I want to refine this query. So I can do that by going to chat. Now I can either swipe up with my fingers or look up here at the top of the screen. We have now a new chat scope. And with that, with one click, you are now into chat. Look how beautiful that is. Search to chat, just so seamless. And now we take away all of the content that was in your place, and you focus on your query. The search box you can't see, now that can take up to 2,000 characters. So you can just talk to it. You can just ask for it. So in this case, let's say I'm going to ask for a gaming optimized TV. All I have to say is, which of these are best for gaming? And we remember all of the context. We know that we're talking about flat screens. We know we're talking about 65-inch TVs. And look how Bing starts to come back. It does all the queries on my behalf and comes back with a great answer. And I just want to highlight a few things for you. Since we know you're asking about gaming TVs, we pull out, oh, this one has a game optimizer. This has game mode. And so we make that really helpful. I'm on a budget. I'll ask it to adjust it for which one of these is the cheapest. Again, Bing knows the context, and it just goes in and refires the queries. And with the new Bing, I now don't have to start with something that's dumbed down, like Mexico City travel tips. I can ask for what I want. First, let me just compare that against what you get in today's search engines. So I'll type in this long query of what I really want, and you get what you expect. Links to go try and find the answer for yourself, right? But we can do much better. Let's try it in the new Bing. So I put in the long query, which is essentially create an itinerary for a 5-day trip to Mexico City for me and my family. And just like that, Bing goes to work. And just take a look at how it starts to compile. It starts with day 1, and we put in there, look, arrive in Mexico City, check into your hotel, go check out maybe the Playa de Artes, have some lunch. Then there's day 2. And you see, isn't this just so much better as a starting point? Where's the nightlife? And you get a list of nightlife. All right, finally, when what you are searching for doesn't exist, and you need that spark of creativity, Bing can generate the content to help you get started. We just finished planning that trip to Mexico, and now what I would like to do is I'd like to share that information with my family. They're all over the world, but I can simply ask Bing, hey, write an email sharing this itinerary that I've researched and put it in a thing for me to be able to send to my family. So notice here how the email starts. It's a great email. Personalized touches, has the trip highlights. It'll close here with a nice heartfelt message. It's just a great way. It just saves a bunch of time on your everyday work. Now, for my family, English isn't necessarily always the first language. So I can ask Bing to just translate that in Spanish. And with a simple request, just basically say, hey, translate it to Spanish. Bing knows to take that entire email and itinerary and convert that into Spanish. In fact, Bing can translate automatically in over 100 languages. Since I'm not the healthiest of eater, I'm going to admit to you here on occasion, this is giving me a great list day by day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with all of the ingredients. Let's say I want to get this grocery list by grocery section. So all I can do is say, give me that grocery list by grocery section. And Bing now takes that exact menu for the week and puts all of the ingredients I need by section, by grocery section. So when I go shopping, now it can be super efficient, right? So you see all of the ingredients there. It's a great help. My family and I were into music, so I asked Bing to create a 90s music trivia game. And just look how great some of these questions are and the answers. So it just creates that game for you. You've seen better search. You've seen complete answers. You've seen an incredible new chat experience and the ability to spark your creativity, all with Bing, your AI-powered Copilot for the web. And what if you could get that Copilot on the 1.4 billion Windows PCs, on the most used application on the PC, the browser? Well, you don't have to wonder. Team has created it. I want to introduce you to your AI-powered Copilot in Edge. We've just updated Edge with a new look and feel and new AI capabilities. As you can see here, it's sleeker, it's lighter. And you're going to notice now that we've integrated Bing in a really cool new way. Let me show you. Here I am on the Gap website. I'm browsing around in my new Edge browser. And I want to read Gap's quarterly report. So I can navigate down to their earnings, click on Q3, and up comes the 15-page Gap PDF. It's pretty long. With one click, I can open up the sidebar. And now, as you can see at the top of the window, we have two features. We have Chat and Compose. Let me show you how Chat works. I can use Chat in Edge to simply ask it to give me the key takeaways of the page I'm on. So I'll just say, key takeaways from the page. And Bing and AI can now read that PDF. Bing can now call out to the web, pull information from outside of this page, bring it into Edge, compare it with the information that's on this page, all within Edge. And I asked it to do it in a table. And look how amazing this is. Let me show you how we can take it one step further. A top use case we've learned from our friends at OpenAI is that developers are really being more productive with ChatGPT. So here we're on a Stack Overflow website discussion board to learn a little bit about programming. And in this case, I'm researching tips on how to parse a JSON file. All we need to do is highlight that text, have it automatically copied over into the Edge sidebar. And now Bing inside of Edge says, what do you want to do? And we'll say, hey, rewrite this code in Rust. And with that simple command, Bing can go and take that code and rewrite that automatically in the new programming language. This is amazing. GitHub Copilot has been a huge boost in developer productivity. Imagine what the Copilot can do for people everywhere on any page.
Go to Bing.com and it'll give you like a trial of what it feels like. So it's kind of like a demo, and it's a limited demo. So you're not going to be able to try all the 10 features, but it's coming out soon, okay? And if you want the other two that comes with the Microsoft Edge, well, first of all, you have to have a Windows laptop. Macs don't work for it, right? They don't have the version for Mac. You have to make Microsoft Bing as your default browser, and then you have to sign up. And then you basically get in line, and that's it. But if you're an Apple user, well, you better hope for Google to come up with something interesting.
This is horrible.